Hi everyone, it's now April, which means it's Titanic month. So for this month, our book reviews are going to be Titanic themed. And for today, we're going to do a 2-for-1 special. We're going to look at White Star Line in picture postcards, and we're going to look at the White Star Line collection, a shipping line in postcards. Both of them, as the names suggest, look at White Star Line through the medium of postcards. We're going to take a look at this one first. This one is written by Robert McDougall and Robin Gardner. This was published first in 2003. And this book, as you're seeing up there, has a wonderful selection of historical postcards, many of which have been reproduced in color or are colorized images. And what this book does is tell the story of White Star Line, and the illustrations of postcards complement the history of the shipping company. The integrity of this book is marred because Robin Gardner is the individual that has cursed us all with the stupid switch theory. But none of that appears in this book. This book is a straight out history of the White Star Line shipping company, and for the illustrations, only postcards have been used. And the reproductions and the choice are plentiful, and as you can see from up here, beautifully reproduced. The second book, which is the White Star Line collection, this one was authored by Patrick Mylon and published in 2011. So it has a few years ahead of the previous book. What this book does is uses only the postcards to tell the story of White Star Line. The intensive and highly detailed captions essentially provide the text. You're seeing images up here, and just like the previous book, the images are reproduced in both black and white and color. There's a lovely selection here. With this particular book, the selection is a little more varied in terms of the type of images used and included. For example, we've got the inclusion of a ship's cat, which I think is marketing genius. And that is essentially the point of difference between the two. This uses postcards entirely to tell the story of White Star Line through its very detailed captions, whereas this book is a history of White Star Line, and it is illustrated with postcards. There isn't too much variance about the history. The facts are the facts. It comes down to accessibility, choice of imagery, and what the author is, what the reader is looking for out of these books. As I said, this one unduly suffers because this chap has cursed us all with stupid theories. But ignoring all of that, it is still a decent history book which is still beautifully illustrated. So I'll give this 3 captain's hats. Whereas Patrick Mylon, with diversity of images and the very detailed captions that are used in this book to drive the history, I will give this a 4 out of 5 captain's hats. If you see any of these two available, by all means add them to your Titanic themed or White Star Line themed bookshelf. Both have plenty to contribute, and both have wonderful eye candy. The postcards are glorious to look at. There's some imaginative images there, and plenty for your eyes and brains to feast upon. So, enjoy!